Hey, what's going on guys? This is Kedar here, and today in this video on main stimulus check update in the 2023 $450 relief checks for the Maine residents, Governor Janet Mills signs this bill. This bill will provide the heating assistance of $450 in form of relief checks, and nearly 880,000 income eligible taxpayers are expected to begin receiving this $450 stimulus check from Maine by the end of January under this new $473 million package. And now that Governor Janet Mills already signed the emergency bill, which is providing the heating assistance and $450 in form of relief checks. And who is eligible for this $450 stimulus check? Also, what this bill is exactly providing. Today in this video, we'll check out all the details, what this bill is providing in form of heating assistance and what it means for you in terms of benefits. And looks like government has realized the need of the additional support for the individuals and families who may be struggling to afford those heating costs during a particular cold winter or an unexpected emergency event. As per the details, this bill would likely include the funding to help out low-income households to pay their heating bills and provide assistance to individuals whose heating has been shut off. Today in this video, we will check out who will receive this $450 direct assistance. We'll check out the eligible residents in the Maine. So without further ado, let's get right into all the details. And quickly before we start this video, make sure to check out our channel. How to guys? Be sure to subscribe with all the bell notification, whether it's raises your benefits, stimulus update. We have got tons of updates onto our channel, so be sure to check this out. And without further ado, let's get right into all the important details. So we got this update from Augusta, and Governor Janet Mills signed an emergency $473 million heating and energy relief bill on Wednesday afternoon, and this one clearing the way for the state to begin issuing $450 stimulus check to most of the taxpayers. Speaking of the current updates, both the House and Senate passed the bill with 2/3 support needed to enact it as an emergency measure, and this one allowing it to take this in effect immediately. So remember, they are enacting this bill as an emergency measure, which would be very important to take in implementation. Therefore, they are taking in effect immediately. And Mills announced soon after the vote that she had signed the bill into the law, and the state would begin mailing out those $450 relief checks this month. With the high energy prices causing real hardship, this emergency measure will ease the financial burden on Maine people by putting money back into their pockets. And this will ensure the most vulnerable citizens are able to stay warm this winter. Thanks to the legislature for its strong bipartisan vote, and Mills is looking forward and continuing to work with them to implement the long-term solution that will bring down the energy cost and improve energy efficiency. And mainly they are trying to reduce the Maine's highest in nation dependence on expensive and harmful fossil fuels. And the Senate has voted 24-10 in favor of the bill, and the House voted 114-29 for the passage. And several pro amendments were rejected Wednesday morning before the final votes. And it was the first order of the business as the lawmakers returned to the Augusta to kick off their 131st legislative session in the earnest. Speaking of the law, this law will also provide tens of millions of dollars in heating aid for low and middle income households, and millions more for emergency housing and shelter. Now actually this package is identical to one that has failed to pass with enough support last month. It had strong bipartisan support in the House, but it was blocked by Senate Republicans who demanded for a public hearing. And well, that hearing was held in the late December, and the Senate minority leader announced that some of his caucus members had decided to support the bill even though it was unchanged from the original proposal negotiated by the Janet Mills and party leaders in the each chamber. And after the votes were cast, Stewart described the package was imperfect as a victory relief for Maine's people. This is largely because its caucus focused on a public hearing on the proposal. While our caucus believes that this bill is far from perfect, and in his testimony he presented during the public hearing provided that we recognize the urgency of the situation created by failed government policies and allow the bill to move forward in a spirit of the pragmatism. Therefore, this winter energy relief proposal funded with the surplus money, and this will provide $450 stimulus checks to roughly 880,000 income eligible taxpayers. Speaking of how you'll receive these checks, well, these checks will be automatically mailed to individual taxpayers who earned up to $100,000 in the year 2021. So remember, this is a most important criteria. In order to be eligible, individual taxpayers must be earning up to $100,000 in 2021. Speaking of the heads of household who is earning $150,000 and married couples who is earning up to $200,000 will be automatically eligible for the stimulus checks, and all the taxpayers who fall into these three important income groups will receive those stimulus checks. And speaking of those checks will be automatically mailed to the taxpayers. Now those relief payments make up about $389 million out of the $473 million package. Also, Commissioner of the department said that last month the program is identical to the previous round of $850 stimulus check, the inflation relief checks sent out for the Maine residents, and will be sent out to the same group of people. These stimulus payment will be sent out to the same pool of qualifying taxpayers, which should allow the state to issue more of them very quickly. So they are not wasting their time to check out the eligibility and all that. So if you are among the group of recipients who received the previous round of $850 stimulus checks in the Maine, then you are eligible for these new $450 stimulus check coming right here in the month of January. And the Commissioner of the Department Administrative and Financial Affairs said that the state will begin sending out those stimulus checks by the end of the January, and all those stimulus checks should be possibly issued by the end of the March 2023. So continue to watch out for your $450 stimulus check by the end of the January, and probably you should receive all those stimulus check. Entire state should receive by the end of the March. To sum up all the details for $450 stimulus checks will be automatically mailed to all those recipients. So first group of recipient, individual taxpayers who earned up to $100,000 in 2021. Picking up the heads of household who earn $150,000 and married couples who earned up to $200,000. So these group of recipients will be eligible for this $450 stimulus check, and state will begin sending out those checks by the end of January, and looks like all the checks should be distributed by the end of the March 2023. And most probably, if you have already received the previous round of $850 stimulus check from the Maine that gone out in the form of inflation relief checks, then again qualifying taxpayers, if you have already received $850 previously, then $450 will be sent out to same group of people. And now that already they have found out all the eligible people, this should allow the state to issue these stimulus check more quickly. I hope you found this video helpful, so make sure to hit that like button. Be sure to check out our channel How To Guys, subscribe with all the bell notification turn on, and check out other videos from our channel. And this is Kedar from How To Guys signing out.